This is Soph,
This is Rich.
and we are from
Across
across
the
the pond.
pond. We rarely ever get that in sync at the same time. I think we're going to have to practice on our Wednesday meetings.
Yeah, well, I like it that it's a little offset. Sometimes you go first, sometimes I do. I like it.
All right. How was your weekend?
My week was all right. I went out of town for a little bit,
Ooh,
and now I'm
okay.
back, and I need a kip,
Cool.
aka nap.
Well, that sounds bougie. You went out of town partying,
No,
low key.
low key.
Coolio Mondulio.
How was your
I,
weekend?
I too could do with a sleep. Alfie graced me with his presence at ridiculous hours of the morning, as usual.
Yeah,
We've been to the shops. We've been to the park on a scooter today. The sun was blazing squad today. Like, I couldn't believe it.
yeah.
Last week,
Our weather was actually a little windy, but still beautiful out.
right? Last week, the weather was trying to kill us with hurricanes and gales and rain and whatever. And today, it's acting all innocent, sunshine. But looks can be deceiving because there was not a single cloud in the sky. It was so beautiful out there, but it was chilly as ish, like you wouldn't believe. But
Yeah, see, it's windy here, but the sun is out and blazing. You can go out with a sweater or a cardigan
oh
and not,
yeah, I mean I do
you
that
know what I
even
mean?
in the snow. But yeah, so Alfie went to the park, he went on his scooter and it was so hot. He even watched the telly with his sunglasses on today because that's how bougie he is. Sun's out, sunglasses out.
Hmm.
Other than that, just had the news on 247, trying to keep up with
Oh,
what's going
yes.
on.
Yes, I've been following it too. They had which I'm gonna send you. Someone sent me a Ukrainian guy sending his family on a bus and he was crying his
Oh
eyes
yeah,
out.
I've seen that. Have you seen was
You
it a little
see?
girl?
Yeah, a little girl
Yeah.
in a little pink jacket. And then they haven't seemed to take over Kiev. So I'm gonna tell you right now, they're going at them.
Well, at one point, a couple of days ago, I think I said on Friday's show, they did take control of Kiev airport, but Ukraine took it back. Um,
Yeah,
Boy, Ukraine ain't messing, man. I'm telling you, they come in
yeah. They,
full force.
then I watched
Full force.
some news where some guys from the Ukraine smuggled their families out and they heading back to Ukraine to get it in. They like, yo, we going back to fight.
Right?
We're going back to hook up with the resistance and we going back. I was like,
We
that's
got
what's up.
premiership football players, Ukrainian here, that are asking for leave so that they can go back to fight.
Yeah. So, and then you have a lot of Russian. There's a something in the news where a Russian billionaire was like really hot about Russia invading them. A lot of Russians don't want this
Oh
war.
no, there's
Don't
over
want it.
50 protests in Russia from Russian people to say they don't want it. Now, I'm just
Yeah.
going to put this out there. You know how we like to be first, hot off the press, and it's just my opinion. None of Russia, apart from Putin, seem to want this war. So if he gets taken out, it wouldn't surprise me if it's by one of his own people.
Yeah, because I mean, they got billionaires, they got a lot of people who don't want it. So it's just sad. It's just sad. And
Very
it's
sad.
all
But
over the
I'm going
news.
to Uncle Fester's tomorrow to help with these care. Uncle Fester and his wife, I think I mentioned on Friday, have been making up care packages. Like they've had a van come up to their house twice since Friday. They load up the van with stuff that they've had donated or they've got themselves, like blankets, medical supplies, clothes, whatever.
Mhm.
Then the van is going there free of charge. These Ukrainian drivers are going there free of charge to deliver this goods and then coming back. So there's another van going on Wednesday. So I'm going tomorrow while Alfie's at school to help them with that.
That's what's up.
Right.
All right. It is
Serious Sunday.
serious Sunday, and we are talking about gender reveals. Do you like them? Do you think they're cute? Do you think you should keep it a secret?
Now this is going to take loads of swerves off of this topic here, there, and everywhere, because I've written about 4 arrows about different things to talk about. So
Right.
let me ask you the question, because you can do this now. Science allows you to choose the sex of your baby. Like, I don't know how they do it, whether it's by IVF, test tube, or what. But if you could, would you have chose the sex of your baby?
No.
Do you think you should be allowed to?
No, because that's to me, and it's taking the fun out of it. I kind of like, I want to kind of be surprised to
Not
see
only
what it
that,
is.
why don't you just let nature do its thing?
Exactly. Let nature take its course,
Hmm.
and I think it's exciting.
Now, how true this is, I don't know how true it is, so don't shoot me, anybody. But I have heard that a lot of Asian cultures like prefer to have boys as the first child.
Exactly. Yeah, I
So
heard
if
that
they
too.
find out that it's a girl, they either terminate the pregnancy, or
Wow.
they keep that it's either terminated, or they just keep having kids until they get a boy. Um, I think that if you could do this thing where you choose the sex of your child before you have it, that would save a lot of problems for them, I suppose.
Well, if I could do it, I mean, I'm against it, but if I could do it, then the world would have just one boy and one girl, and that'd be it.
Well, yeah. I mean,
If you think
I
about it.
always I always said ideally I would like one of each, which I did have one of each. I just only got to keep one.
All right.
But what do you think about finding out the gender of the sex of the baby when you're pregnant?
All right. I'm gonna get personal here. Uh, I don't really like it because I think it just takes the fun and the excitement of finding out what sex of the baby is. But I'm gonna give you a little story. My ex-wife and I have two sons. Richard was born first, and I automatically knew it was a boy. Like the minute she told me she was pregnant, I was like, "It's a boy," and long and
How
behold,
did you know
it's a
it was a
boy.
boy? That was just your gut feeling.
My gut feeling, I was so excited. I was just like, "It's a boy." She's like, "No, it's not," because we have had she had two boys previous to other relations. So before we got married. So she was like, "Oh, I want a girl." I was like, "I hate to tell you this, but it's a boy." No doubt, no ifs, ands, doubt about it. Well, she got pregnant again. And we told each other that we weren't going to do the ultrasound for the sex of the baby. So we weren't going to do it. So we were just going to just have faith that it would be a girl. Okay. Now, back then, this is before they had 3D imaging had just came out
Mm-hmm.
for the ultrasound of the sex of the baby. So it was a 3D imaging, was all over TV. And I was just like, please don't have her look at that. Because if she looks at that, oh, it's going to be ugly. Well, I kept telling her, we are praying for a girl, and that's what we're going to have, yada, yada. But you know how they say how your baby sits, how
Mm-hmm.
your stomach sits, it
Mm-hmm.
could be a boy or a girl. And I forgot how her stomach was sitting. It's been years ago, but I forgot how her stomach was sitting. But everybody kept telling her it was a boy, right? But me. And I kept telling her, don't listen to them. Okay. It's going to be a girl. That's just superstition, yada, yada, yada. One day she just disappeared. I didn't know where she went. I had the boys. I didn't know where she went. She comes home and she's in tears. And I'm just like, what's going on? What's going on? You okay? Something happened? She was like, no. And she threw the paper down. She goes, The baby has a penis. Because she went and got that 3D ultrasound.
Were you annoyed?
That's how we found out about Ryan. Huh?
Were you annoyed that she'd gone and had that done and not told you, or didn't?
I was a little annoyed, but once I found out it was a boy, I was good. I was good. I would have loved, to be honest, I would have loved, because we were both on agreement on having a girl, I would have loved to have had a girl. But being that she went there and found out it was a boy,
Mm.
I was just as happy. I would have been happy to either or, but it was just ironic that I had a boy. And
See,
I was
now
just like,
I always said I would want a surprise. I wouldn't want to find out. But I remember before we went to have the 20-week scan, which is when you can ask what the sex is, I was like, oh
yeah.
my God, I'm so excited. Before we go for our scan, let's go, because the shop over here called Next, which is quite expensive but really great clothes. I said, oh my God, let's go there and buy our first outfit for the baby. We went, and the unisex, you know, they have pink, blue, and then a unisex color, right? The unisex color at that time was brown. And I was like, oh no, like I can't buy brown, because I definitely wouldn't want that if I had a girl. And if I had a boy, I wouldn't want him to wear brown either. I'd have to change it. So at that point, I said, do you know what? Let's ask, because I want to be prepared. I feel like you can't be prepared unless you don't know. So when we went, but I knew I only wanted to know if it was 100%. Because I remember when my sister was pregnant with her second child, all the way through her pregnancy, they said, it's a girl, it's a girl, it's a girl. And out popped a boy, you know. So how sure they are, you can never be 100%. So anyway, we went, I said, yes, please, we want to know. She said, okay, well, I'll tell you you're having a boy. I said, what percentage are you? And she was like, 95. And I was like, oh, no, that's 95 is not good enough for me, you know, if you're not sure. She carried on moving, and then all of a sudden she held the thing with the jelly. She held it in one place, and she said, have a look at the telly, and you could just see two round balls and a willy like this, like on the screen. She said, if I wasn't 100% sure, I am now. And I was like, okay, great. So then we went off. I had to have a scan every 3 weeks. So I went back to the next one, and the sonographer was a man. And he said, he was so serious. Do you know what you're having? And I said, a boy. Why? What do you think I'm having? And he was like, well, if you look at the screen, and there it was again, two balls and a willy right up on the screen. So Alfie must have had his legs literally wide open every time the camera was there, showing off his meat and two veg. But every time we went, honest to God, it was clear as day. Woo, just like that on the screen.
Meat and two wedges.
Yeah, the crown jewels were on show for the world to see. But I'm glad I did ask, because I did feel like I could be like, I bought everything blue then, you know, everything for a boy. It was just easier, I thought.
Yeah. I personally would have liked it to be a surprise. I think I've watched a lot of these gender reveal parties.
Oh yeah.
And I think some of them are just to the extreme. I think.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a bit like weddings. People do it to try and outdo each other, don't they? Like, it's gone from just popping a balloon and confetti coming out to cutting a cake or shooting a cannon, or and do you know what I mean? People have always got to go over the top.
It just gets wilder and wilder.
But you do know,
I think the worst one is the
firing
powder.
the cannon.
Yeah, the little powder. I'd rather do the confetti than the powder, the chalk or whatever that is.
But you do know that it's the men that determine the sex of a baby, right?
Yes, I did know that.
Because women have XY chromosomes and men have XX. So
yeah,
the men determine what sex the baby is.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Okay, so what do you think about this? Is the first time it's going to go left now. Mm-hmm. What do you think about people who have a sex change when they get older?
I think which I've watched a show on Netflix. I can't think of the show, but I think they should go through some serious counseling before they actually do it.
Most of them have to anyway.
Yeah, you have to.
Well, not most of them,
But then
everyone.
I've seen a lot of horror stories too. There's good stories, and then there's a lot of horror stories
What when you say horror
where
stories, what people change their mind?
change their mind and they can't go back. Like, you were once a man and then you get the sex change, and now later on in life you realize that you were really meant to be a man and you're stuck. So I just really think you should really, really, really think about it.
What do you think that this is getting a bit technical now and looking at the science really, but when someone says they're in the wrong body, what do you think that is? Like a chemical imbalance, a hormone imbalance? What do you think that is?
I don't know. I think it's more of a
Psychological thing?
I think it's more I think it's more of a psyche. I think it's more of a chemical mental imbalance somewhere in down the line. Your makeup. I don't know.
Okay, this bit comes with a graphic warning. I better say that before I say any more in case anyone says, why didn't you warn us? But I remember years ago when it first, like it's a bit more out there now, right, than when we was kids.
Right.
So when it first started becoming a bit more out there, it's not that I was curious, but I was like, how? How can you go from a man to a woman or a woman to a man? So I watched a documentary on it, right? And they showed you the surgical procedure about how you change the bits down there if you want to go all in, right? And
Mhm.
for the men, they snip the skin down the penis and then tuck it in, right? And then
Mhm.
stitch it. So it looks like you got a vag, but really your penis is just tucked up inside, right?
Inverted.
Right. And on a woman, if this is your vag, they cut a flap of skin and roll it so that it looks like a penis. So you look like you got a penis, but you still go to the toilet as normal out of your vag. Like bizarre, totally blew my mind. And the
I'm
face
glad
you're
I didn't
pulling
see
now
that because
is the
I'm
face I
telling you,
pulled.
my mind is very visual, and I kid you not, I probably have thrown up, but
Well,
that's just me.
the face you're pulling now is the face I pulled at the time because I was just like, oh, like why would
Well, it's
you?
probably different now, though. They probably have a whole different procedure than back then. Now they probably got, plastic surgeons that make everything legit and work. I don't know.
Okay, let me ask you a question. This is totally this is a wild card, I'm going to call it, coming in now.
Mhm.
If you started dating a chick and you was getting serious, right? And
Mhm.
when you was getting serious, she said, look, I think I should tell you something. I used to be a man. Would you still carry on dating her?
No.
Even if she had the nip and tuck and everything and she looked like a woman?
Mm-mm. Because to me, you should have presented that in the beginning
So
and let me decide. You
so
just
if
don't. To
she'd have
me,
presented it in the beginning, you'd have still dated her.
no, I would have said no from the beginning. I mean, no offense to any, transgenders or anybody out there. I'm just saying that I think you should present that to the person in the beginning.
Okay, this question is not me being ignorant, I just don't understand it. So, say me, right? I'm a woman now and I fancy men. So, I am heterosexual, right? If I
Right.
wake up one morning and think, blast, I'm in the wrong body, let me be a man, but I'm still attracted to men, does that make me gay? Or am I still homosexual because I still got women's DNA? Or if I change into a man but then date women, does that make me a lesbian or am I, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's a preference. I think it's your preference. I think it's the person's preference in deciding on what they want to be and who they want to be with. You see what I'm saying? Like, say you just said, if you were a woman and you find men attractive, and then you just wake up one morning and go, you know what, men just aren't my thing,
Yeah.
and I like women,
Hmm.
then what I mean, I think it's your decision. You know what I mean? I think it's a preference on the person who's having those feelings.
You know, when we do these conversations, I really would think it would be better if we could find somebody who's been through that to literally be on here and ask these questions for
I
us. Do you
know,
know
right?
that?
Grill them.
No,
Well,
not
you know what?
necessarily grill them. I'm
Bringing
talking
stuff
about
up like this, bringing
educating
stuff up
us.
like. Go ahead. You say first.
I'm
What?
just no. You said we would grill them. I'm just saying we wouldn't grill them, and even if we did, it would only be so they could educate us.
Right. But what I'm saying is by having these serious topics, we got people and listeners out there, and maybe they'd be interested and want to be a guest on our show. That's why we bring up these serious topics.
Right.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
Well,
Excuse me.
are you okay?
Excuse me.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think it's a preference. I think it's the person's individual. I think it's an individual preference on what you like and who you like, and whether it's women or men. My discussion, my curiosity, which I don't seem to understand, is that women who say that they are lesbian, but then they use a sex toy that looks like a penis.
And some of them look like men.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you're a lesbian, you like women, why do you use an object that is
Represents a
prevalent of
man.
male's genitalia
See now, in all
to
fairness,
pleasure when you don't like men?
that does blow my mind. I get that. And I've made it no secret that my mum's gay, but I'm not about to ask her that question, to be fair. So we'll have to just see if there's anyone else that wants to come on the show to discuss that.
Yeah.
Oh, I had something to say then, and you've thrown me off the ball. Oh, maybe. Do you think that's where, you were saying it's down to personal preference, whether you class yourself homosexual or heterosexual, if you're a man with a man or whatever. Do you think that's where all this non-binary stuff come from? Where
I don't
people
even
don't
get
want to be.
I don't get the whole non-binary thing. Like, you're not a man, you're not a woman, you're just human,
A
I
thing,
guess.
a they.
Yeah, I don't get that.
I don't
think
get it either, but I'm wondering if that's where it stems from, because if I'm a woman and I change into a man, but I still fancy men, and then I don't want to be seen as gay, maybe that's where that come from. I don't know.
well, isn't that bisexual?
Bisexual
Where
is when you like
you
both
like both
men
sex,
and women, yeah.
right? So why can't they just be called bisexual? I just think there's people out there that just want to be a part of something.
So they're going to make it up as they're going along?
Yeah, I honestly think that. I think people make up stuff to be a part of stuff that, single them out, make them feel special, I think.
We have a show over here called Good Morning Britain that used to have my good old friend Piers Morgan on there, right? He's not on there anymore because he's very controversial, but he has questioned people like on that subject a number of times. And I remember one particular show when they were trying to explain to him about this whole non-binary thing. And, because there's pansexual, this sexual, metrosexual, do you know what I mean? And he said, they said to him, well, that's just what we identify as. And he said, okay, I'm going to be a penguin. And she was like, what? He said, I identify as a penguin. If you can identify as pansexual, bisexual, this sexual, whatever, I'm going to start by identifying as a penguin. And she said, well, that's ridiculous. And he said, what? But you making up all these different things is not ridiculous? Like, I've seen things on TikTok. Let's just take pansexual for a thingy. When I first heard it, I was like,
what is pansexual?
So that's, let me Google it before I get it wrong. But as far as, because I had to Google it, it says, pansexual is a romantic emotional attraction to somebody regardless of their gender. But isn't that the same? Isn't that the same as bisexual?
Exactly. That's
but they're saying you've got an emotional attachment, not a physical attachment. physical attachment must be bisexual, pansexual must be emotional, but
Emotional meaning that you fancy them as a friend.
so wouldn't
Wouldn't
that
you
be
consider them a friend?
friendsexual?
I guess. I don't know. I think some of these
Oh
are
my
just a little
goodness.
far-fetched.
Apparently, hold on. Apparently there's 52 genders. This is why he said he was going to be a penguin. Let me see if I can get the list.
Get the list out, mama.
Well, I clicked on it and it took me somewhere else, which is really annoying about the internet. I don't know why it does that. So it says, so I can tell you some of them: bigender, butch gender, cisgender, gender expansive, gender outlaw, pansexual, metrosexual, heterosexual, bisexual, pansexual. 52, that's one for every week of the year, right?
I guess.
There's 52 weeks of the year. So I was going to say, when I was talking about old Pierce, I'd love for somebody like that to be on our show. Not because we, just so that we can question them, because this is
And be educated. I don't want
right.
people to think
This is
that
the issue we
we're
don't
being
understand.
ignorant. I don't
Right.
think people think that we're being ignorant or, making fun. We really want to know. I really want to know. Like, I
Okay, do
really
you know
want to
what
know.
we're going to start to do? On our social media, we're going to start to put out little ads asking for people, do they want to come on our show to talk about specific topics?
That would be awesome.
And then if anyone's got any questions, when we know that we've got someone coming in with a specific subject like this, then people can write in their questions and we can ask them.
Yes, that would
Because
be
you're
dope.
right, it is about education.
It is about education. I just don't want people to think that we're being ignorant to the fact, but we have our own opinions. That's why we love this show.
But
We're
that's what
going
the
to give it
show's
to you
about,
straight as
mine and
well.
yours opinion.
Yeah, so
Let's get your opinion on something else then. Let's get away from the whole sexualness, because it's getting very sexual on the show. And I don't want to say sexual any more times. So here's my next question. What do you think about cloning?
the only cloning I believe in is twins. If you're not a twin, don't be trying to clone me.
Well, yeah, but twins are natural.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that's the only cloning I believe in. Two eggs, two eggs share one sack.
Okay. Yeah, but you could have twins that are identical that share the same egg splits. That's identical. Or you just
Right.
have two eggs in the same sack, right?
Me and my brother were fraternal twins. I was 9 minutes older than him, and we were
Why are you going to
fraternal.
chuck him under
Meaning,
the bus like that and tell everyone that you was older?
well, it's the truth.
But I was
I ain't
saying
throwing him
that
under
to
the
you the
bus.
other
It's
day.
fact.
9 minutes is quite a long time. Normally it's
Fact.
between 3
It's
and
just
5.
fact. You know what I mean? It's facts. So anyway, we had two different eggs, but we shared the same, sack.
Yeah.
The egg didn't split. It's just two eggs that
Is
came
that
in.
the
And I
same?
have two sets of twins in my family.
Is that the same for your brother and sister? They shared the same sack with different eggs?
Yeah. Which makes them fraternal twins, boy and a girl.
So if it, I think they've done it on animals so far. Like oh God, I'm going to come across as such a meanie, but people who've had like a dog and it's passed away, so they've had it cloned. Would you, if they did it with humans, I'm sure they must have done, or they've tested it by now. You wouldn't get yourself cloned?
No. No. I want me.
Right.
There's a show that's coming out about cloning where a gentleman, I can't think of, I hate that.
Is it reality or made up?
No, it's actual movie. It's an actually movie. It's made up, but it's an actual movie where a guy, he's dying of an illness. So he clones himself and didn't tell his wife.
But if you clone yourself, surely, Like, say they come to me right now and said, "Yo, we want to clone you." I mean, look out, world, because enough one Sophie Stanley is enough for the world. But if they come and said, "Yo, come on, we want to clone you," if I said yes, surely they'd just take my DNA and I'd start as a they'd have to start it as a baby, right?
Well, I would assume so.
Okay, so when you say he didn't tell his wife what he just brought a baby
What
home,
it's a movie.
I know it's a
He,
movie, but
his
you know the
clone his
he,
clone is the same age as he is in the present,
oh, so they literally made
but
a
he's not. His clone is not sick. He's the sick one. The real person's sick.
so what happens? He doesn't tell his wife he's
Hold
got a
on.
clone, and then he dies, but his wife doesn't know he's died because his clone takes his place.
Hold up. I'm looking it up right now because I'm gonna find it here in a
Well, yeah,
minute.
because we're gonna
Because
have to watch
what
this.
happens is I don't want to spoil the movie.
I've got too many questions. Have you seen it already then?
I've seen trailers of it. I think it's on Apple TV.
Apple TV, boy, you've got everything going over there, man. I just saw I bit my lip earlier and it's quite sore. It's got a little red mark on it. Just in case you're wondering why I keep fiddling with it.
You bit your lip?
Mm-hmm. How are you searching? You don't even know the name of the movie. How are you going to search it?
Okay.
Sorry about this, folks. You know that at least one show a week, Rich has to search for something that takes all night. We just have to talk amongst ourselves while a little tumbleweed rolls across the screen while we're waiting.
I know. I know you didn't because I can't help it that your fingers are smaller than mine and you can just jump right into it.
But I mean, I don't even know what I'd be searching for. Cloning movie on Apple TV. Maybe we should look for it offline and then come back. Maybe we do need to clone Rich so that one of him can sit off of screen and search for stuff while the other one's on screen.
Oh no, you didn't. Human clones.
Human clones, that's what it's called?
No,
Oh. What's human clones then?
that's what we're talking about. Human clones.
I mean, you've seen it in films already, right? Where they've got those babies, like fetuses in water in tubes and eggs and stuff, ain't
And
you?
they clone puppies and everything else. I can't find it. We're not going to waste any more
We'll
time.
try and find it offline and tell you.
Yes, I
But
will.
also, we was talking about this the other day with Jay Reese, and he had a good question. I was going to take it as my own, but I don't want him to watch the show and think, "Oh my God, she took my question." How would you know? His question was, "How would you know you're the real you and not the clone?"
Exactly. Or how would you know that the clone ain't trying to take you over, like kill you and become you?
My biggest bugbear would be, I mean, I'd know on me, obviously, but how would you convince other people? Like, if your clone turned bad and was like, "Oh no, she's the clone, she's got to go," and everyone ganged up against you, how would you convince them otherwise?
Exactly. There's a show on Netflix called Living with Yourself. That's what the show is about.
Or
The
having a
dude
clone?
clones himself. Yeah, he has a clone. And his clone does everything the opposite of what he does. Kind of makes him better, if you would think.
I mean, I wouldn't use my clone for bad things. I'd just get them to do things I haven't always, like, free up some time. Like, they could do the shopping and they could do the housework while I work and watch out, you know.
Get a nanny.
No, thank you. Because
That's what I
the clone would do it to my standard. That's how I know it would be all right. Because they are me, right?
Yeah, but like you said, what if your clone decides to just say, you're a waste of space, I can do it better?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the risk you take, though, right?
I don't know. I don't know if I could do it.
And then also, what about if you had a clone and your husband didn't know or did know still, but ended up having sex with your clone because they thought it was you? Would you be able to forgive your husband? Would that be cheating?
Exactly. Or would she be considered a freak?
Be what he was?
Say if it was the vice versa, like the roles were reversed. Say her husband was a clone.
And I had
He
sex
can,
with the husband?
you're right, and he's not the real smell.
Is that cheating though? Because effectively you're having sex with the same person but in a different body, right? Because isn't a clone identical?
Right.
Boy,
Mhm.
this could be mind blowing. There could be a whole. We've just opened a whole can of worms now.
All right, let's move on to the next question.
Well, I've asked most of my questions. All
I
I know
thought you
so
said you had
far is neither of us are having a sex change anytime soon,
no.
and
I love myself.
need
I couldn't be a woman to save my life. You women go through too much.
right now.
I'm
Can I
just be
just
honest.
hold on? Can I just say though, if I was able to be a man for 24 hours, I would just because I'd like to experience it. Would you be a
I don't
woman?
want to experience it. I don't. You women go through too much. Periods, mood swings, the whole
Mood
9 months
swings,
carrying, the whole 9 months of carrying another human life inside you like an
right?
alien.
But wouldn't you want to experience that? Because it's such a great feeling.
No, I know.
Well, I'm telling you, if I could be a man for 24 hours, I would.
I love being a man.
I'd do what you men do and sit in front of the telly all day with my hand down my pants, twiddling with my willy and
I don't
drinking
know
beer.
what I don't know what man still does that because not men. Men don't do that.
Men
Sit there with their
isn't
hands in their pants.
automatic.
This is not the Married with Children. This is not Al Bundy.
You probably do it subconsciously without even realizing. Alfie even does it.
That's Alfie. Maybe that's a UK thing because ain't no dudes down here holding their joint while they're watching television.
It's a comfort thing, I think.
Maybe some men do it. I don't because I don't
Well,
think
anyway,
that
I'm telling you, if I could be a man for 24 hours, I
you
would.
would do it.
Yeah.
Would you have sex like a man?
Hell yeah, I want to see what it's like.
Oh, I don't want to see what it's like as a woman.
Obviously,
No.
I know what it's like. Sorry for my
True,
parents.
but I don't want to. I don't want to know. I don't want to
I
know.
do. I would, yeah.
No, I don't want breasts. I don't want none of that. Mm-mm. Y'all got too much going on. Mm-mm. Too much.
Well,
I like it. The man upstairs made me who I am, and that is 100% grade A heterosexual male.
well, I'm a heterosexual female, but I still like to see what it's like to be a man.
I know. Good luck with that. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Sorry, y'all just go through too much. I got three sisters. Y'all go through way too much.
Listen, I don't even know if I've told you, but I have got this thing, what I've said for absolutely years, probably more, well, about the last 20 years. I always say in my next life, I want to come back as a man, right? And I'm going to be good looking. I totally believe this, by the way. Good looking, rich. But don't ask me where I'm going to get my money from. I don't know that bit yet. Maybe I'll be born into it. I don't know. I'm never going to have a relationship or catch feelings. I'm just going to be like a hoe and sleep whenever I want to sleep with somebody, I'll sleep with them. But I'm not going to have any kids. I'm not going to get married. I'm just going to live like Hugh Hefner, my best life, spreading my seed as I go.
Ew. First, you started out almost like George Clooney. until he got married and had kids finally.
There you go then. I'll be
But
a
then you
George.
jumped on the Hugh Hefner. Ooh. Yeah.
Okay, well I'll be George, but I ain't getting married.
Yeah.
I ain't having kids. I ain't catching feelings. You can be my wingman if you want.
I'll be your wingman. Heck
We go
yeah.
to hit the clubs.
Now just check this out. What if you came back as a man, but still had your thoughts as a woman?
That would be the best man going.
I mean,
A
like
man that thinks like a woman.
you had all
What?
your I mean, but you had all your memories as a woman though. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'ma still hoe it about. I ain't gonna catch feelings or nothing because that's when you're gonna break some filly's heart. Forget that.
You're running
Or
to
if I
you run into your mom and you're a man now, but you still have memories of your mother
yeah, but my mum's
and
not gonna come
Alfie.
back. My mum's not gonna come back the same, is she? She's gonna come back as somebody different as well. You're not gonna come back as the same person, are you?
I don't know. I just know one thing. I don't want to be a woman.
You better not come back as a woman because I might pick you up in a nightclub and take you home.
I wouldn't know. I
You'll be
wouldn't know.
like, oh my God, I recognize those eyes. Have I seen you somewhere before? And I'll be like, who knows? Get your coat pulled.
Who knows? What's your number, girl?
Hey, I ain't taking numbers. You must be joking. I'm taking you, getting your coat, and we're going. I don't want your number. I ain't gonna see you again or speak to you again after.
That's called force. You just gonna snatch me out.
No, you're gonna come.
Fast?
It's gonna be consensual, and you're gonna come willingly. But I ain't gonna take your number and be like, oh yeah, let's get a coffee afterwards. Nah, there's your taxi fare. Off you go. Don't be catching feelings, love, because you're not coming back again.
Oh.
Oh my God, no glove, no love. I'm going to shrink wrap up. Come on.
You're going to be a man whore.
Right.
And what do you think you're going to gain out of that? I'm not understanding what you're
No heartbreak. No heartbreak. No disappointment. No letdown.
You can do that now as a woman.
No, thank you. I don't want to. The thing is, right this second as a woman, I'm going to tell you a little story, right? I don't physically have the whole life in me. I can't date more than one person, see more than one person. Now, a few years ago, after Alfie's dad, I went on 3 dates with this guy, right? Was it going somewhere? Obviously not. But I was like, do I like him? This other guy, in the meantime, asked me out for dinner. And I remember saying to Fiona, I'm not going. She was like, why? I said, because I don't know where it's going with 3 date guy. I can't speak to more, do you know what I mean? I can't juggle men. She's like, Soph, he's asking you out for dinner. He ain't asking you to get married. And I was like, she said, you don't even know where it's going with 3 date guy. This dinner date guy could be the one. I was like, do you know what? You're right. Okay, I'll go for dinner with you. Went out for dinner with him. After the dinner, I wasn't feeling it, by the way, but after the dinner, he went to kiss me, right? I felt so guilty about 3 date guy. I cried all the way home. I literally cried all the way home because I felt so guilty. Another man had kissed me when I'm gone on 3 dates with this guy. I didn't know where it was going. That's how I know I don't have the whole life in me. I mean, it didn't go anywhere with either of them.
You need a wingman now. That's what you need. You need a wingman now.
It didn't go anywhere with either.
I'll be your wingman.
It didn't go anywhere with either of them. But my point is, as a woman in this life, I cannot be a hoe. Maybe that's why I'm going to do it in my next life as a man. Besides, men seem to get away with it more than women. If a man,
are you kidding me?
If a man,
I have to disagree. With that.
Okay, let me tell you from Let me tell you from a woman's point of view. If a man sleeps with multiple women, his friends high-five him. Yes, man, I smashed 5 birds. Get in, bruv. If a woman does that, she's a slut or a tramp because she's laid her down and spread her legs.
Huh? Because she likes, She likes it with different
Men
men.
get away with it more than women, I'm telling you.
I doubt it.
I know it.
Women just don't get caught. See, guys get caught. Women don't get caught. There's a lot of women out there way better than dudes. I tell you that
You're on
much.
about people having affairs. I'm on about if you're a single person and you're just
And
casually.
that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about affairs. I'm talking about single women.
Okay, so let me ask you a question then. If you went out on a night out, saw a chick, you was out with your group of guys, you saw a chick and you were like, oh my God, she's hot. And they were like, oh my God, she's smashed about 10 guys a week. You're telling me you'd still go and chat her up?
Yeah.
Is that because you think she's easy and she's a sure bet then?
I don't know. I don't know. First, I would want to know what she's all about. If she's a floozy, she's a floozy. But I'll make the decision if I want to be with her or not.
Well, you are one on your own there.
Mm-hmm. So if you seen a guy and you knew he was a man whore, you wouldn't talk to him? And you thought he was hot?
I'd have a conversation with him. I don't think it'd go any further than that.
If he's hot and he throws that game on you, I think it's over for you.
Because
You're
men
going
have got a
home.
gift of the gab sometimes. They talk their way.
Women do too. I hate when women make it sound like the guys are like the massive predators. No, they got some women out there that are straight, got skills.
Maybe that's my problem. I ain't got skills.
I told you I'll be your wingman. I'll be your wingman. All right. Gender reveals.
Gender reveals that turned into sex change, that turned into cloning, that turned into
bisexual, pansexual, metrosexual, all the sexuals.
Yeah.
51
penguins,
different genders.
52.
Oh, 52. Excuse
52
me.
genders.
Instead of 51, there's 52. One more than what I said. It's cool. But to round it all off, gender reveals for me, in my opinion, I feel as though it should be kept a secret.
And you know what? If someone ever says to me, what do you identify as? I'm going to say number one. If they say, huh? I'm going to say, well, there's 52 genders. I identify with number one.
And I'm going to be like, what do you mean? What do you identify yourself as? Me?
Me.
And then I give him my full name.
Richard Payne Sr., heterosexual.
There you go.
There you go.
I'm all about the ladies. Yeah.
Like everyone always says to me, you know, like I have this big thing with Vin Diesel, and I have done for as long as I can remember. People always say, oh, he's gay. And you know what I say? But that's if he isn't, but if he is, that's because he ain't met me yet.
Oh, look at you.
But he ain't gay.
Spit that game. Someone that sat there ain't got no game. Look at that. See if somebody sit there and say she ain't got no game. Look at that little game. Look at that little tagline she just said. All right, let me ask you one more question.
Go forth.
Have you ever been hit on from the same sex?
Yes.
How'd it go?
Well, I'm not interested, so it was a thanks, but no thanks. I'm straight.
Yeah, I've had guys try to hit on me, and I go, I'm flattered, but I'm not into men.
And they just say, okay, fine.
Some of them keep trying until you have to get ignorant. Like, look, man, I will straight punch you in the face. It's like, nah, I wouldn't do that. Just walk away. Just walk away. I'm flattered, but no, I'm not into that. Sorry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who are, into men. I know a lot of people who are into women, and I respect their private life. That's what they do. Doesn't mean that they're different as a person. You know what I mean? I still love them just the same as I still treat them the same. It's just their personal life is their personal life.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I agree. But obviously, my mom is.
So how do you feel, again, to touch on how do you feel again about gender reveals? You think it's too much? Would you
Gender
want a
reveal.
gender reveal? Would you want a
No,
cake with blue and pink filling?
nah. I think go and have the scan. If you want to know, know. If you don't, don't. If you find out and you want to tell people, tell them. If you don't, don't. Don't need a whole party with a balloon and a cake and all this and like. It's just an extra money making scheme.
You think so? You
No,
think
I
it's
know so.
a money grabbing scheme?
Now
We
let's not
should
get it twisted. If someone wants me to go and photograph their gender reveal, I'm all down for that.
plug that in there. She is a photographer, and she said that even though she doesn't get into gender reveals, she will take photos of your gender reveal.
And do you know what? I'm going to say it again. I've said it on the show before. If anyone wants their birth photographed, it's on my bucket list to photograph a birth.
Someone fulfill her bucket list. She wants to photograph a living. I said living, like
An
we're not living.
actual,
An actual birth. She
and
wants to
you know,
photo an actual birth.
you know, in January when I had the 11-day-old baby here, did a shoot. I
Yeah.
said that, and the woman said, "Well, if I have any more kids, I'll let you photograph a birth." I said, "Oh my God, you having any more kids?" And she went, "No, but if I do," that's the closest I've come so far.
Hey, never know. It's out there now. It's out in the universe now.
Right?
You might get a phone call. You might get a phone call tomorrow.
Come on.
This was Serious Sunday. As you know, we went on a tangent.
And it went
But
way
the
less.
topic was gender reveal, whether you like it or not. So if you like our show, like we say most of the time, click like and subscribe.
Right? Follow, comment, share.
Follow, comment, and share.
And if there is anybody that wants to be a guest on to discuss any topic, I'm talking any, serious, fun, whatever, you want to be a guest on the show, just message us. We will hook you up.
Yeah. And via my co-host, she is going to be now posting ads on our social medias.
Oh, hell to the
for certain topics. And if you want to be on the show to discuss it, just to educate us, we are willing and able.
Yep. We're going to slide you right in the box.
Slide you right into the little box with us. And you can educate us because we're going to give you questions because we would like to know. Seriously, like to know.
Right. And if we've offended anybody with our opinions today, I'm not going to say sorry because it's just our opinion. And that's why we're asking people if you want to be on the show. But it's not our intention to offend anybody.
Ditto. How we do it. This is Stove.
This is Rich.
And we are from across the pond.
Rich, I'm going to see you on Wednesday for our meeting. You can see
Yes, you
these
will.
guys on Friday for Fun Friday. I'd just like to end the show by saying, again, love, thoughts, prayers to Ukraine. Glory to the heroes. Glory to Ukraine. Keep the fight up.
Yes, our prayers go to the Ukraine country.
Doing an amazing job. This guy is going to be a hero, I'm telling you. Also, from Friday's show, we're still waiting for that call from Manchester United for that £40 million sponsorship deal. But we're here for that. We are here for that.
We here for that.
Yepper.
Yepper.